That man jumped. It looked like to me from about the top of the key. And he was just in the air. And then it just looked like he just stopped. And he said, come on. You in the air now.
Batman, 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 what? Batman, Batman, yeah. Batman, yeah. Batman, yeah. Batman, Batman, hey, Batman, Batman, what? Mr. Never use a gat, man. Yeah. Never turn like a Batman.
Julius The Doctor Erving is one of the most underrated basketball players in the history of the NBA. And in this video, I'm going to go ahead and put some respect on his name. But before we go ahead and do that, make sure you guys follow me on all the social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, I got it. So there's no reason why you guys shouldn't be following me on all these places. And before I get into the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the to the channel for more content. So let's just go ahead and start getting into it. Dr. J started his professional basketball career in 1971, 1972, around there, and he started off in the ABA. He played 5 seasons in the ABA and won 2 ABA championships. Now, here's the thing, and he's just one of the most slept-on basketball players in NBA history. In my opinion, he's a top 20 player of all time, and in my opinion, he's a top 5 small forward of all time. And why is he important? You can't tell the story of basketball without talking about Dr. J and what he did and what he brought to the game. He brought class and style to the game of basketball in ways that no one really was able to do before him. You know, he brought in dunking, the moves, the acrobatic layups, at just 6'7". He wasn't a monster. He wasn't a monster big like Wilt or any of that. And let's just go ahead and start jumping into it. On the screen, I got the stats for you. Regular season, he's about 25 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 2 steals. For his career, he is a 50% shooter, and he's only a 30% shooter from 3, but you know what? Threes weren't really emphasized back then, so we're not really going to hold him for it. And the playoffs have pretty much followed suit. You can see it right there on the screen. And the thing is, I always show every player's stats when I make these type of videos, but the thing is, it's not all about stats. It's not all about the numbers. There's more to it than just the numbers. There's more to it than just the stats. There's things like your impact, your effort, the leadership, the things that, aren't really measurable. But even still, I still want you guys to see it. And during his prime, so 1972 to 1984, he was averaging about 25, 9, and 4.5, and 2 steals per game. His defense was very underrated. This man was just the absolute truth. I love the Doctor. Okay, he had moves that we had never seen before. People were saying that he was Michael Jordan before there was a Michael Jordan. Now let's take a look at some of the things that he did throughout his career. He's a 1-time NBA champ in 1983, 2-time ABA champion in 1974, 1976, 4-time MVP. 3 of those were in the ABA, 1 of those was in the NBA, 3-time ABA scoring champ, okay? He was a 16-time All-Star, 5 of which were in the ABA, 2 All-Star MVPs. He made 7 All-NBAs, 5 of which were first-team All-NBA, and 2 of which were second-team. And he also made 5 All-ABA selections. And, like I said, stats, numbers, accolades, those never do the complete justice. They never tell the 100% story, and neither do they ever paint the entire picture of a particular athlete or a particular legend in NBA history. The biggest thing about Dr. J was, as I mentioned earlier, what he did for the game of basketball, which I'm going to get into a little bit more later, but I want to keep emphasizing that point. Let's take a look at some of the things he was able to accomplish, his achievements throughout his career. He swept the Showtime Lakers in the NBA Finals in 1983, him and Moses Malone. He made the All-Star team in every single season of his career. He's never missed the playoffs in his entire NBA career. He averaged at least 20 points per game in every season of his career, with the exception of only his final 2. 6 seasons of at least 25 points per game. My man has 5 seasons of averaging at least 10 rebounds per game. Now keep in mind, Dr. J was a 6'7" small forward who weighed 200 pounds. This was not some center who was grabbing 10 rebounds a game. This was a small forward. He led the ABA in playoff scoring 4 times, and led the ABA in playoff rebounding in his rookie season with 20 rebounds per game. Now, let me remind you, he's only 6'7". And not to mention the fact that my man Dr. J led the ABA in playoff scoring in his rookie season. Now, as far as the NBA is concerned, he is 4th all-time in scoring for the Philadelphia 76ers, 4th all-time in assists for the Sixers, 7th all-time in rebounding. He is also 3rd all-time in steals, and get this, all right, like I said, 6'7". I keep telling you that. 1st all-time in blocks for the 76ers. He was only 6'7". I'm going to say that at least 10 more times before this video is done. Now let me tell you about the legend of Dr. J and why he's so special and why he's such a prominent figure in NBA history. Okay, his stardom began in the Rucker Park. His performances, the eyewitness accounts of what he was able to do was ridiculous. And as you can see on the screen, those were the crowds that he drew in. Those are the amount of people that wanted to see him play. In the background, you can see kids literally standing on the roof of a school just to watch him play basketball. He brought class while also still being a fierce competitor to the NBA. He single-handedly carried the ABA when it was declining before, it eventually folded. And he kept the NBA afloat until Magic and Larry arrived in 1979. And when it came to dunking, I mean, there's only a few names that you can talk about when it comes to the greatest dunkers of all times. You could talk about Michael Jordan. You could talk about Kobe Bryant, a young Kobe. You could talk about Vince Carter. I mean, Dominique. But Dr. J was the first to really be the epitome of dunking. Okay, as a 6'2" guard in his senior year of high school, he performed a free throw line dunk according to his coach. And he did it again in the ABA dunk contest. A dunk that was later repeated by Michael Jordan. And when it came to the respect that he gathered from his peers, that's also what made him so great. Magic Johnson, in a documentary about Dr. J, stated that Dr. J did things that people in the NBA right now still haven't replicated and still can't do. Now, when it comes to what Michael Jordan said about Julius Erving, Michael Jordan, the GOAT, he said, "I like to think I did try to emulate my game after Dr. J." Michael Jordan wanted to be like Dr. J. That's who he grew up watching. When it comes to, people of, this current generation or even the generation previous, everyone wanted to be like Mike. But who did Mike want to be like? Mike wanted to be like Dr. J. And that right there speaks to his true greatness. And like I mentioned earlier, Michael Jordan, to pay homage to Dr. J, eventually, during a dunk contest, did the free throw line dunk. And that was out of respect. Now, when you look at someone like Dominique, another all-worldly dunker in NBA history, he said, look, everybody wanted to, who didn't want to be like Dr. J? Everybody wanted to be like him. And look, that's just another all-time great player telling you about the doctor. And during this same documentary I mentioned earlier, where Magic spoke in, Michael Cooper also spoke. And he spoke when Dr. J dunked on him in the NBA Finals. And Michael Cooper said, look, if anyone is going to dunk on me, why not let it be the best player in the NBA? Michael Cooper explicitly stated that at that time, Dr. J was the best player in the NBA. Now, mind you, he was teammates with Magic Johnson. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Hope you learned to appreciate Dr. J. Maybe you learned something new about him that you didn't know before. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and stay tuned for the next video. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.